What's up guys, and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we are going to test out a new air intake for our 2024 Audi RS3. So we have it all set up on my workbench. Take a look at Armaspeed's carbon fiber air intake. As you can see, all genuine carbon fiber. We have components of it right now, which looks so good in that glossy weave. Huge airbox as well, of course, Armaspeed logo on it. And you have the duct up in front. We're even going to test out a set of paddle shifters. These are going to go onto the factory ones, and we get a massive cleanable air filter as well. I do have one piece of the stock intake that you're going to reuse, and then we have a few more bits of hardware. Now, for those of you with any year Audi RS3, this intake is compatible. I will have it linked down below on our website, along with one piece some of you may need, like myself. Now, to go ahead and remove the factory air intake, it's super easy on the RS3. All you gotta do is unscrew a few bolts on your air filter cover, take one of the hose clamps off, pop that lid completely out, and then you can easily pull the entire airbox itself right out of the car from those 3 grommets it's held in place. Take the crankcase breather hose off as well, very carefully. The tube itself, there's gonna be one clamp. You can just use a big set of channel locks. You're gonna pop that off. Now, depending on which year RS3 or even the TTRS that you have, your recirculation pipe might be different. So on my 2024, it's a plastic corrugated pipe that has these fittings on it. If you have this, you're gonna need to get an extra kit. I will have it linked down below as well. It's only 55 bucks. It's basically an adapter fitting that goes on your throttle body along with a silicone pipe that's gonna then connect it to the aftermarket air intakes. If you have older RS3 models, you're gonna already have a silicone pipe there. You won't need to worry about it. But for the 2024, at least, I've noticed that they have changed it compared to recent years, and you're gonna want that adapter kit if you have this pipe like I do. So with all that said, intake is now out of the car, and you can see I have the adapter kit all installed. That is insanely easy to do, as you can tell. We have that in there with the factory hardware and then the silicone tube. And now we're looking at the engine bay with no air intake. So from here, for the Armaspeed intake, you have an extra piece in the front that is going to replace this whole plastic one. So we're going to go ahead and get that off using the screws on each side. And then next up, take your factory airbox and just pop all 3 of these rubber grommets out of the holes. And then go ahead and install them into the underside of Armaspeed's airbox. It might be a little bit tight. First on the list, we're gonna pop on the new carbon snorkel. It's gonna go underneath the factory plastic. So it might be a little hard just to wiggle it underneath here. You'll wanna be careful, of course, not to damage anything. We're gonna use these square holes in the back and the hardware the kit came with, and we'll just loosely snug that one and then move to the other side and get this one in place as well. And then we're gonna take the supplied foam gasket, and this is just going to go around this airbox lip. That way we don't damage any of the carbon. It'll give it more snug fit as well. And now we're just gonna slide the airbox in place. Line it up with those 3 grommets and everything. I have to pull it back a little bit just to get it underneath this new piece here. All right, the key is to loosen this piece, get it out of the way. Then you're able to get this in the new position. So after a little bit of finagling, I got it in place, got that screw back together. This one is really tight. I gotta push this farther that way to get it in. It's really a snug, tight fit, especially with the 3 rubber grommets. But those are all in place. You really gotta kind of push it forward and lock it in place. Don't know if there's enough wiggle room. I don't wanna risk pulling this back too far. It's only off by a little bit. So the air filter we can just squeeze in at an angle like that, and you'll kind of feel it stopping here, right around there. And then this piece right here is gonna go on the inside of it, so you can back it out a little bit, help yourself get this piece all together. Next up, we're gonna take the carbon intake tube. I already went ahead and put a hose clamp on it, tighten this one, and this one is snug. And you're gonna wanna line this up nicely. There is a metal bracket on the back side you wanna line up with the factory one that you removed. With the breather hose on, we can now take the new diverter valve, and that will fit nicely to this fitting. And finally, we're just gonna take that factory corrugated pipe and kind of wedge it in here a little bit. And then that will complete this new air intake. And then lastly, we can now install the engine cover. Pretty straightforward as you would expect. Of course, it looks good with the carbon fiber now. But there we go, that is the Armaspeed carbon fiber air intake on the Audi RS3. It is a very tight fitting intake, very, very snug. Obviously not that much wiggle room, given it's carbon fiber, it doesn't flex all too much. So just take your time when you're installing it. However, it will come together nicely. Just be a little patient with it. Now before we take it for a spin, let's pop on these new paddle shifters. So you can see the forged carbon fiber on them with the plus and minus. They're gonna come with the adhesive. You're just gonna remove the adhesive, go ahead and install it onto the shifter. All right, and there is one and number two. For those of you who wanna get some paddle shifter extenders for your Audi, these will also be linked down below. Pretty cool design, of course. You can click the paddle higher or lower, so that's a pretty neat look. Alright, so driving with the Armaspeed air intake, it has a nice sound to it. You can hear that blow-off sound in this car. Is crazy how it makes that like flutter noise. It sounds super cool. We got a low sun today, but you hear a little bit more engine tone for sure. It's not as loud as an open filter is. However, the air intake temperatures are staying under 20 degrees over. Even right now, we're at 20 degrees over ambient after running the car a little bit harder after all those accelerations. So I like how that does a pretty good job. And then when you get on the gas, you can see it dip down a little bit and have cooler temps. So we're getting like stock air intake temperatures, a little bit more tone, and that nice turbo let-off sound when you let off the gas. All right, well there you have it, installing the Armaspeed carbon fiber air intake on the new Audi RS3. Definitely does exactly what you would want. Keeps those air intake temperatures in check as expected, gives you a better sound over stock. with tuning, you're gonna get more performance, and you can hear that intake a lot better. The turbo sounds are a lot more amplified. Also looks super awesome underneath the hood. I mean, who doesn't love carbon fiber? So definitely a really cool design, and it looks super cool for the new RS3. So we will have this link down below on our website. Keep in mind, if you have that corrugated plastic diverter valve, you're gonna need that extra kit to accommodate the air intake. It seems like Audi may have just changed that on the last year or two for the RS3. So just make sure you do that if you're gonna need that. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Take a look at the links all down below in the description. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content, and we'll see you all in the next video.